Alright, y'all, just quick, there's one bolt right there, 2, 3, and 4 up top. That's a 4 bolts, and obviously sometimes 2 if you want to on the side. So it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each side. Y'all, you also have one on the side right here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously, one on the top, one on the side. This one goes from in here. Yes, I remember now. Right underneath the battery, and then 3 down there. All right, y'all, the trick is to get them all snugged from the top down, just a few threads, just to align everything up. And then whenever you tighten them down, just go ahead and work your way, like, you know, think about when you torque anything down, this side, that side, and work your way down. And then it'll be like this one, that one in the middle. There's actually 2 over here, the one on the inside and this one right here. You can see that, I hope. Bam. So yeah, that one I'm missing. I have no idea, obviously it's a mess. So that one I have to go to a junkyard and get. So I have to get one of those bolts, right? So I'm going to tighten this up and do the next step. All right, y'all, here's this part. It's a bush in between the core support and the frame of the truck. Here's how it's supposed to be. You got the bolt washer, this thing, the big rubber part, the small rubber part, this bigger washer, and the nut at the bottom. So with this big piece first, this big washer looking thing, and this one, you're supposed to put it in beforehand, y'all. I mean, I messed up on that. There's like a big space in between the frame and the core support, and this indentation here is supposed to be in that hole. So that's why I messed up. So yeah, I have to loosen it. Alright, y'all, today's a new day. Obviously, y'all don't forget to put in these bushings between the cross member, like I forgot and had to take it out, unscrew everything. Next up is go ahead and put in the radiator. I'm gonna put them in. It's just a small single core radiator. Down the road I'm gonna go with the electric fans and go with the 454 2-row radiator. Obviously you're gonna need the new bushings down there, and I believe you could use these same clamps. I'll look into it, y'all, but for now, running the clutch fan, the same radiator it ran. Let's see, you need the same stock lower for the lower radiator hose, and you use the stock one, you just cut to fit. Top one, you need a NBS style, newer Chevy 99-07 style that comes this way. Let's see what else. Ooh, the vent tube for the coolant crossover right down here. Obviously you could cut it, you could put a tab into the water pump, or you go ahead and buy an adapter that goes here, and then you could hook it up there. That's what I'm gonna do, put it between the radiator. And then also today I'm gonna go ahead and do I'm gonna remove this cruise control throttle cable. I never used it, never need it, and I'm going to replace this throttle cable and put in the NBS style one. I will be putting on the bracket too as well, just so everything can fit just right. Hook that on. Obviously it will come into this way, it will not use this one. Let's see, I will also put in the AC condenser, and then from there I'll also put in the brackets of the bumpers, so I could put my leg on top and I could reach over. Let's see what else I got going on. I did lift up the rear a little bit, as much as I can, just so I could put in the drive shaft. Here's a lower radiator hose. You go ahead and cut this to fit. Also for this, I will need to cut it and shave it because I'm using a transmission cooler. You have to cut this in order to set the transmission cooler here, and I'll do a separate video on that. Here's a condenser. I will leave this to the end. I don't want to put it in because this will break easily, like I already broke it here. I'll also be putting the intake too. Reminder, I'll be using this. This came off a Jimmy or a Blazer. It's just so I could use a Chinese harness. Comes with these 2 sensors. Down the road I go with the 5-pin, which these two cross over to one single sensor. Let's see what else. Oh, after I'm done with the radiator, I'm gonna go ahead and try to put this on too. Let's see. Obviously, I'm struggling with the O2 sensors because the harness, the Chinese harness, has a female, and the sensors are females as well. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go back to junkyard, get some male connectors, and cut it and splice into the existing Chinese harness. See, these are the mounts for the condenser. You definitely need these, and you should also have the mounts for the radiator. I threw everything in the back of the truck, which keeps everything simple. This right here goes into this, goes right in here, and that's basically a screw for the bumper. So you don't have to use the top screws, you can use the bottom ones as well. Now I see not the bumper, but the grill, and now I see hooks up here. That one's broken, and then it just slides in here, hooks up to that. And this is just for the middle screw. That goes to that piece, and obviously the top goes the hood latch as well, which is right over there. Also, I need to install the transmission cooler lines. The ends, you will not use the fittings because I'm using a True Cool transmission cooler, so I'll cut them off, use double high pressure hose clamps for those. And there's a beat up radiator I'm gonna use. I mean, it was functional, the truck never heated on me, so I know it works, but down the road I'll be using the two-row 454 radiator. Ooh, that was a mouthful. Obviously that's the bumper over there. I'll be installing two today. So first things first, let's get the radiator in. Alright y'all, here's a radiator. Obviously these two holes were for the transmission and the oil cooler, depending on what year you have. So right off the bat, these are just emptied out. You know, we're not using no more. I will be using a transmission cooler, an exterior one. And then down here also, either for the oil or for the transmission, I think this was the oil, depends on what year you have and all that fun stuff. So right off the bat, when I'll be using them, I'm gonna go ahead and get a hose, and I'm going to spray the hose in here, make sure I dump everything all out. Obviously this hose right here goes on the top, that goes up here, and that's what the NBS, the newer style hoses. The bottom one though, is the one I showed you in the back of the truck, goes right here and connects to here. You have to trim and cut that to fit. This is for here, y'all. This is what it is. It has another hose at the bottom, it loops around and comes right in here. And obviously for the crossover coolant right down here, there's a little piece that you can connect right here, and then you just connect right here into the hose, or you just cut the hose. There's different ones. ITT Billet, Summit has one, different companies has one. I think even Speed Engineering has one. So right now I'm going to clean this up, y'all, make sure it flows and everything. Obviously just stick the hose in here, it should come out. Obviously no spills, no nothing. Oh yeah, and a quick update, the Infinity that was here used to be mine in high school and in college, but sold it to my little brother. Long story short, with Blue Motors, it was a VQDE. He wrecked it and stuff, I wrecked it too, and yeah, it was just giving us a lot of problems. He decided to part it out, and the tow truck came in. Hopefully I can insert the video here, and took it away for free. The block, obviously this is the old TBI 350. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I would like to make a table with it, or you know, give it to my friend Moses so he could do a 350 swap and just bounce in. Yeah, that thing is beat up and gunked up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Need to take it to storage and move it out of the way. It's in my way. When it slide on the motor over there, I need to get that to storage too. It's just a cluster over here for me. Anyways, I went ahead to clean out the radiator. No holes, no leaking. Water went in one way, water went out the other way. So just to start off the truck, to make everything easier, I'm gonna just run it with water. That's about it. That's all I'm gonna do. And then, yeah, obviously you want to go ahead and take off these brackets. Slide it in at the bottom. Get your rubber mounts, put them at the bottom, and then slide it in. Tighten it down. Your radiator is done. All right, y'all. This is a little weird. This side is on correct, like it's on the actual rubber piece. Watch this. Moves. This side is actually not on the rubber piece. It's actually on the the aluminum part of the radiator, and look, hard as a rock. So I have no idea. We got this radiator in December 13th 2010. So whatever radiator this is, it works. The 350, you know, never overheated, and its performance. So look at that. I mean, I can't really bend it down anymore, so I guess I'll have to do until I get the dual 454 radiator. Man, that's no bueno, but we're gonna send it anyways. All right, so that's the radiator. Now let's go ahead and get the condenser. Oh yeah, here's the AC condenser. I always see the hoses on the left side. For these hoses, you have two different mounts. You have the ones with just a nipple, no metal. Obviously this side has the opening on the left. It goes over here on the right. It is gonna have to be a tight squeeze, just like that. Let's go back. These metal ones have a little nut for the screws for the mounting right up here in this area. There's a screw, there's a screw. So let's find the other one. Here it is, opening on the left, just like that. Obviously just go straight up, bam, there's a screw. Yep. So I'm gonna take the screw out. Obviously these other screws is for like the hood latch and the little frame that comes here with the horn, which I'm gonna cut and put the transmission cooler right here. I obviously find a safe spot to put this. I have this little this is like the top part of my girlfriend's cage for a bunny. I just flipped it over. I put my wiring harness in here, screws that I'm using. Here it is, go straight up, here's the nut. Obviously go ahead and set up the AC condenser right on top of those mounts. If you want to replace them, go ahead, do it now. Let's see, right to the left, should be spot on. Yep. Oh, there goes my wrench. There it is. Make sure you square in there. Alright y'all, sometimes you do have to squeeze it in. That's how I'm doing this one hand. There it is. Let's go squeeze this in. There it is, y'all. Doesn't have to be perfect, just make sure it's in there. This is what fell, y'all. Don't get scared. Alright, so these ones go on the top. This one has opening on the, wait, hang on, goes right over here. Opening on the right, screw goes up. See where the screw is, bam. So use the bolt that I just took off, goes right on top. Alright y'all, I went and got the mounts in. And you have to push down really hard to get it in there. Alright y'all, as you can see, it's to the left, both of them, so I have to push everything to the right. So yeah, it is a little tedious just because the clearance in here is very, very tight. So yeah, I have to take it out, you know, I mean, move it out slowly because you do not want to crack this, rip it, or bend it. Push it out, move it to the right, and then push it back in. Right, yeah, there it is. All in. Just gonna get these these lines in. Obviously, there's a sensor that goes in here. And it should be with the wire harness. AC condenser. This is why you gotta mark everything. AC condenser goes in right there. Let's see if you're interested. This is obviously the horn that goes into the cross right here. And let's see, obviously his headlights and a ground. A lot of people forget this. This is a ground that actually goes back in. You can either connect it to the battery or to the frame. There's a little bolt right inside for the frame. Either or, whatever you prefer. Obviously these are tight fit, but you should be able to twist them. See how much pressure I'm using? If you want to switch out the these rings, you go ahead and can. They are press fit. You should hear them click. You hear that click, and then I'm going to go ahead and tighten them down. I'm gonna put some WD-40 just to be safe. See, and it's the same thing with the bottom one. You should hear it click. Let's see. I don't think it's hitting nothing. Nah, I'm gonna just fiddle with it. Obviously, just make sure it's pressed in, and then you tighten it down. All right, y'all. Whenever you're tightening these down, you need two tools. Don't try to use one wrench or vice grip, whatever. Tighten it all around, because once you twist this, it's done for. You need a whole new condenser. Once you mess up the thread, or you pinch it, or anything like that, or you nick it, it's done for. So you want to use two tools, and then you should just feel a little ugly. That's all it is, right? You tighten it down one way. Once you see this bendy or anything, you stop, use another tool, and just a little twist like that. And that's all you need just to tighten these up. Oh yeah, those are tightened down. Obviously I need to get the grill and everything just so I could run the wire harness. You should have these these little plastic things to run the wire harness in there. Just so you connect this. Obviously it has a little knob in there, a gasket. Make sure it has a gasket so water won't get in there and stuff. Right, so that's why you don't cut anything. So next up, here's I bought a new one. I didn't like the one from the junkyard, so I bought a new one. Here's the part number for it. Gates 22436. Napa. It's a Napa brand. Got this. Get them at O'Reilly, AutoZone. It's just between a 99 to what, 07, 06. Chevy, whatever. Truck, Tahoe. One way in. Fits right on like a glove. And this side, obviously you want to move all these wires. Connects just like that. Bam. Does not hit the radiator fan. Looks like an LS was supposed to be in the OBS. Let's go and turn on the lights. Cheap little Harbor Freight lights. They work. And now let's go ahead and get the bottom one. Here it is. Has like a little heat shield, I guess. Obviously this one's the one you had to trim to fit. So I'm going to see which side I'm going to trim it, because it could be this side or it could be that side. Alright, y'all, so right off the bat, the side with the most gunk on it, motor oil, you name it, goes right there where the water pump is, to that spout. So it should have a 90-degree down, curves, and comes right over here. The spout is where this pulley is in the dirty dingle mount. Just like that. So if I'm measuring right, lift it up, just like that. Look down, there's a spout. Here's a radiator. I'm going to cut right here. See how that is. So see how it's like a 90-degree here, right at the end of it, just so I can keep this heat shield. So I'm just cut right there and see how that works. Oh yeah, I just use a saw blade. Obviously any blade will work as long as you get this little plastic tube hard enough. It'll cut through. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna check it out, see how it fits. Oh yeah, I went and got it in. I went and trim until I got it to fit. One problem, it is hitting that tensioner right there. So I'm gonna see what the guys in the Facebook group did, because it is hitting right there on the tensioner. Oh man, I wish I had some brighter lights, but I'm going to try to take off the cruise control and go ahead and do the throttle cable as well. But it is getting late. I have to go inside the cab to take off the throttle cable from underneath the dash and hook up the pedal from there. I guess I go ahead and put in this little throttle plate, which is easy, just 3 bolts, y'all. And then I'll go ahead and do the bumper, just so I can have something to put my leg on to reach over. Alright y'all, I went ahead and got it in the bumper. It took me forever to get it on, just because I needed to know the location of the brackets. For instance, this one goes inside the frame and the one over here goes behind the frame. I thought it was going in front, so it was like sticking out over here. I had to take it off and do it all over again. Yeah, there it is. Alright y'all, I forgot I had this light, so I just have it hooked up, you know, extension cord, do it up there. This is just some studs, you know, studs welded onto a beam, concrete. It's a good idea, and then you just get rafters. But anyways, starting to look like a truck finally. Obviously I'm not gonna do the headlights or the grill yet, I have to go buy them. What's next? Obviously it is getting cold, but let's go ahead and push through. I'm gonna go ahead and do the throttle body now, y'all. You can see obviously that nipple part right there is from the inside. But yeah, I'm gonna go check it out. Be right back. All right y'all, so I checked out the throttle cable. It is exactly like the NBS's except this part. So here, as you can see, there's a little tab where you can squeeze up and down. Once you squeeze, push forward, and it should come out there. But you have to worry about this little guy right here that's actually on the pedal. As you can see, there's a tab here and here that you squeeze together, and then you pull out. I mean, you pull straight, and then it comes out of the pedal. So you want to squeeze with something like these, you know, some pliers. I usually like using that, and then you squeeze it and it should come right out. And then once you get that, this end with the pedal, this is actually in the firewall. Squeeze here and push out, and this whole thing should come out. Obviously this is the NBS, the OBS is still in there. So let's go and try it out. Alright y'all, here's the pedals. Obviously mine are flames. My dad put those in there, not mine. Up here, follow the piece of metal to the pedal, and there's that little tab on the end I was talking about. You want to squeeze in the back of it and push forward. Obviously there's a latch, just like my fingers are, that the wire could come out through the top. So you squeeze behind and push to the top, and then it's a little tight in here. I think this is for like the dash. This is like the actual frame for the steering rack. Right back there, I hope you can see my finger. Keep following the line and you should be able to see the tab. That black tab is facing left and right, so you squeeze the sides, not the top and bottom. You squeeze the sides and you push it through after you go ahead and squeeze off this one. Obviously y'all, I cannot record and do it at the same time. If you want to, I mean, you could sell the starter body or just break this plastic piece. You could break it if you want. It's trash because you're going to LS swap, you know, you don't need this one. So you could break it, cut it, do whatever you want. So yeah, and the same way it's for NBS's, you know. I think the one in the back on the NBS is actually up and down instead of left and right like the OBS's. So yeah, if you ever go to the junkyard, just go ahead and grab it. Whew, that's a lot. Obviously you can if you want to screw on all these bolts, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna just squeeze from behind. I'll probably get some needle nose pliers because the ones I have, I don't think it'll fit here for this one. But the one in the back for the firewall, I'll probably use the needle nose. I mean, the ones I used earlier instead of the needle nose. All right, y'all. Good luck with y'all. All right, y'all. I'm back down here on the pedal. I went ahead and took it off. Obviously, you see how earlier I was telling you it's like my fingers. You squeeze it forward and then pop it up. for the wire. Now I'm going ahead and struggle to get the one in the firewall. Obviously, remember, side to side. Be careful because you got the bracket for the dash, and then on the left you got the bracket for the steering rack right here. So yeah, it's a tight squeeze. See, just to get my hands in there. Oh man. So yeah, good luck. All right, y'all. Here's the OBS. I went ahead and cut it up, beat it, yanked it, poured it straight out. The tabs are broken, and yeah, that thing's done for. So yeah, the OBS one, it is trash finally. Now it's time to install the NBS one. Whew. And this is, honestly y'all, just like the OBS, the NBS has this little tab for the brake pedal that goes straight through. Let's see if I can do it while recording. All right, see, there's a little hole. It should be like a rectangle next to the brake booster. Pull it, push it through. Okay. Should be side to side. Well, either or. I mean, as long as it curves. Here it is. So, once it goes in, y'all, it's in there. Oh man. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna see how I'm gonna push it in, because I know the NBS is go up and down the little tab, and the OBS is, as y'all can see, went side to side. So let me figure this out real quick. All right, y'all, what I noticed is that the hole in a firewall is smaller than this plastic piece. So I went ahead and got a drill bit, and I went ahead and shave off some of the plastic. Hopefully you can see it. Right now I'm gonna go in there and shave off some of the firewall with the drill. All right, y'all, I went ahead and filed it down to the left, made the hole a little bit bigger. Hopefully it fits in. I drilled and filed it down, so hopefully it works. All right, y'all, it worked out. I just had to file it down, but it is loose, sadly, but it'll be fine once it's hooked up to the pedal and it's hooked up here. I believe it should be fine. Obviously, y'all should get the Vortec one, because I'm not trusting this. People said it worked out for them, but now I'm not seeing it. Now let's go ahead and hook this up, which is pretty simple. Obviously, you just gotta squeeze it through. Oh, I wish it was that easy for that. Let's go check out the pedal. Alright, y'all, here's a little plastic piece. So let's go ahead and just hook it up. Oh man, it's hard to do this one hand. Oh. Okay, got the wire. Oh, alright, y'all, have to do it. Obviously, just go ahead and put it into the little curved part. Alright, y'all, it fits like a glove, just like the OBS one. Alright, let's go check out the front. Have to hook it up to the throttle body now. Yeah, I need to get rid of all this junk. Here it is. Firewall, it's okay. Do this. Goes up. Like that. Let's move out of the way. Gotta move a lot of these wires. Just gonna put it right there. Get in there. Oh, I did it one hand. There it is. Damn. Alright, let's hear it. Test it out with the pedal. Whew. Man, alright, that's good. My little light. There it is, yeah. Oh yeah, don't forget to run your wires through, obviously after you put the bracket, but going with the True Cool 4K transmission cooler. I need to put in the transmission lines, can't forget. Let's see, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and test fit the eBay intake. Go ahead and see, I mean, it's supposed to go this way, which I can understand, you know, going over the AC unit, but all my wires are over here. Your coolant ECU, not that one, these two, your mass airflow and your idle air temperature, they're over here. I mean, they will not reach, so I'm gonna try to run it this way to go with my Chinese harness. Stay in. All right, y'all, here it is, the generic eBay intake. I mean, just look up on eBay, Amazon, cheap LS, so 2001 Chevy intake. This is what's gonna come up. This filter right off the bat, go ahead and get all the parts out of it, and this is what you're gonna do. Just throw it away. It's trash. That's no bueno. All right, obviously my plan with this, with the rest of it, this is my plan, is to hook it up with this. This is a Vortec intake off a Jimmy or a Blazer. This is the one I got it off. Has the three wire sensor I need for the mass airflow, and it has the idle air temperature sensor right here. Obviously newer models have these two together for a 5-wire. You could buy that, the mass airflow sensor that has the 5-wire, and then you need a harness to connect those two to this one. Or if your harness already has the 5-wire plong, you hook it up to the mass airflow and you just hook it up with the intake. Honestly, I'm gonna do that down the road. I'm just trying to get this going, so we'll be using this. So yeah, obviously I have the two sensors I showed you earlier. We'll hook up here. My plan is to run with all this kit to the right, where the old canister used to go, right down here. So my plan is to have this chilling over here, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it is pretty big, but I might just put like a little intake, get rid of this part. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Honestly, this is the most important part right here, this little tube and this part. All right, y'all, it took me a lot of drilling to get that plastic piece off. Couldn't get it off, and it was stuck like on glue. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get the vacuum, and you know, there's some little specks here of dirt, so I'm about to push them through. Obviously it's like a honeycomb, see? So I just push them through, let them fall, vacuum up all the metal pieces, all the dirt. A lot of dirt this way, metal pieces this way. Yeah, clean it up. All right, y'all, this is what I'm stuck with the 90, shorter end inside, longer end on the tube. Curves up, obviously it will not clear the hood. What I can do is just drive it hoodless for now, cut it back, because obviously how the plugs connect, they do not reach, see? Or what I'm also thinking is cut a piece off here and go ahead and just connect it right here. I'll go ahead and move this off out of the way. Obviously when I move off the tube, I could cut a little slot off of it just so I connect these two, and that's probably the route I'm gonna go with just for now, just to turn it on until I can figure out a way to do something else. If not, I could probably extend the wires. I'll probably do that, just extensions, just so I could run it usually like it is over here on the left, right over the AC compressor. So just to start it up, I'm gonna just have it like this, and we'll cut a piece off the tube and just connect them right here. All right, everybody, right now before I finish for the night, I'll go ahead and talk about everything that goes on over here. You have the main ground. This hooks up to the frame or to the block of the motor. This should have been in your OBS. I'm going to take it out for y'all. See, it already has the ground over here connected to the, I believe, the wheel well. This, you either hook it up to the motor or over here. I'm gonna just hook it up to the back of the block on the passenger side head, right over here in this bolt. Don't do that. bam, hook it up right there. That'll be fine. Obviously all the other ground stuff is right over here on this bolt, so just go ahead and I'm gonna use this bolt. Obviously that motor already has it to connect to your grounds. I'm gonna use this side, that side I'm gonna use for the wiring harness. All right, so we got this main ground. Next up, this right here is for your fuse box, not to turn on but to be constantly on, which hooks up straight here. Obviously it runs across all the way to the fuse box over there. Definitely need that. This right here is your constant power to your battery, to your starter, right over there. Obviously it's a little different, but we just hook up right down there. Obviously you follow it back up, it's right here. It's your main positive right here. It's also connected to this, which this goes straight to your alternator. Went ahead and marked it down. It goes right to the back, right over here. Next up is going to be the heater hoses. Alright, so these two right here that come from the firewall are your heater hoses. One of them is feed, one of them is return. It does not matter where you hook it up to your water pump. Right down there, there's two spouts. See where my fingers are? Just hook them up to the right size. Obviously this one I have to throw away and get a new hose. This one you have to cut to fit. Once you do that, then this one's obviously the other side. So obviously I'm gonna get a hose from there to the water pump. Then you got your reservoir hose. Obviously what I told you about earlier, here to the radiator, right there. That's where this one comes in. Just follow it from right down to here. Here it is. Obviously your AC stuff should stay where it's at. You always want to keep the connectors. And see, obviously there's another connector down here. Keep that, keep this one for your AC. Obviously AC right here. This right here is obviously for your subwoofer or your amplifier. Obviously it's a power that goes all the way inside the cab. That will be this one, if you have one. If not, then you do you. Alright y'all, I went and covered everything up. That's it for the night for me. I hope y'all like, subscribe, share, put it on a Facebook post, I guess. Anything helps, honestly. Appreciate it. Alright y'all, I'm back with the OBS. So things I got done off camera was I put in the plate between the transmission oil pan and the block. I'll go and show y'all in a minute. And over here I just went ahead and put in the two bolts in the starter with the starter plate. Had to go to the junkyard to get those two. I'm gonna get some light out here too, so I get going. And also the dry shaft, I'm going to get that in too. Hopefully that's the right one. I got this off a two-door Tahoe, so hopefully it fits. Let's see what else we got going. My plan is to go ahead and jack up the rear just so I can have more room to fit underneath, and to jack up the front as well. I'm gonna try to extend the jacks as much as I can, so I have more room to work under there. Update on parts. I put the starter in, have to put this in. I'm going to get the core support. I have it painted with the, let's see, this is what I use to paint up the core support and the brackets, and just touch it up here too. All this all the way down underneath. Obviously cover some areas up with tape. But yeah, I did that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and connect these brackets, put in the core support. Alright, let's see what else we got. In the bed of the truck I have everything. Oh yes, let's go ahead and talk about this. So on a Chinese harness, right, you have your mass airflow sensor, and then you should also have with it the IAT, which is idle air temperature. I believe that's what it's called. So this is a 2-wire prong, this is a 3-wire. You could get for newer ones, you can get a harness that connects these two to a 5-wire mass airflow sensor that has both of them together. But for the Chinese harness, and to be cheap, I just got it at the junkyard and went ahead and got this Vortec intake, which is off a Jenny or Blazer, one of the older ones. Here's the 3-wire sensor for the mass airflow, and then here's for the IAT sensor. I got this one because it is pretty clean. You can't see it, but it is pretty clean in there, and in here has a new filter, so I knew, alright, so these sensors must work. So my plan is to use this just for now, until just so I could turn it on, and then before I get the tune, I'm gonna get the harness with the new mass airflow sensor, the Dolphy, with the 5 wire. Obviously you're gonna have the intake coming this way, and then this attached to it. I do not have the gas canister, as you can see, that is gone, so I'll be setting it over here, and then there'll be room over here as well. Let's see, I did get the throttle cable as well. Went to the junkyard, I found one. Here it is. It took me 2 tries, I did break one. So here's how it looks like. This obviously goes to the throttle body. This goes into the little bracket on the manifold, and then once you go back, this is in the firewall. And then let's see, as you can tell, there's 2 tabs in the back. Let's see, these 2 right here have to be pinched from the inside. So if you go to the junkyard, it'll have to be from the inside. This will have to be pinched, and then you go and pull it forward. And then down here, this wasn't a pedal. I did smash one of them, so whenever it's inside of the truck or wherever you're getting it, it's actually facing this way, up and down. You want to go ahead and turn it sideways, facing north, and it's this way, right, side to side, and then you want to face it up and down, and then you go ahead and get your vice grips or whatever from the side, and then crimp down, because the pedal goes all the way this way, and you won't be able to go from the top, from the bottom. You have to go from the side, and then from there, that's when you crimp this down and then pop it off. Yeah, so I got this one going. I still need to cut this up though. This is from separate video. Obviously this is the horn. This is like goes on top the core support for the hood latch. And so yeah, basically what I'm gonna do is cut this up so I can put it in my transmission cooler in front of the OBS. You have to chop all this up, put a flat plate. I will do a separate video on how to do that. I also need to lift up the truck so I could put in my transmission lines, run them all the way front. Yeah, I got a lot of things to do. Down the road, I already have the starter installed. Down the road, I'll show you how to wire that up, because the harness, this Chinese harness, has two cables that connect to it. Obviously you don't want to connect it to the trigger, you want to connect it to the positive. There's a whole another ordeal with that. Next up, I will be removing this, which is cruise control. I'll be deleting that, won't need it at all. Yeah, let's go ahead and put this up. First thing I'm gonna do is try to jack up the truck, and hopefully, I mean, it is getting pretty dark already. Hopefully by tonight, put in at least the jack shaft. Oh, another thing, here is the rear O2 sensors. I thought because I saw the plug like this on the LS harness, but it is completely different. See how this is like a female connection to the O2 sensor? On the LS harness is also a female connector, which I really did not understand at all. It is so weird that it had to be done that way. Where did I live? Give me 1 second. Alright y'all, here's the O2 sensor. It is also, for the wire harness, the connection is also a female. So I have no idea if I should go back to the junkyard and get the other side of this and cut and splice into it, or just get another wiring harness with the male to male connector. because I know these brand new are pretty expensive. I mean, I'm not trying to add more money into the build than what it already has. So I'm guessing I'm gonna go ahead and cut and splice into it. Here's the other half. I didn't know, I just cut it so I could get the sensors out of the, I think these are off a van. And yeah, this is what it should be, connecting into the sensor. So my guess is I could cut and splice into these wires, but I need a longer one. Obviously I can't cut and splice, this is too little and too brittle. So I'm gonna need to go back to the junkyard and get like a whole foot of wire with these connectors and cut and splice so my O2 sensors could work. Obviously it's not necessary, but it is needed if you want to get a tune and everything.